Hi, so I'm here with an amazing trainer from the UK, Craig Ogilvie, and we're here at the PPG Summit in Phoenix, Arizona at the Humane Society, and we've been having an amazing time. And so I thought I would just ask Craig some questions. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Chirag.
How are you?
I'm really good, mate.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And if you remember, Craig and I actually worked on a TV show together, Nightmare Pets SOS for BBC One, with Sarah Fisher and Joe Headley. And so during that time we got to meet each other and work together. Now we're spending time together because he likes me and fancies me. So yeah, and I've been teaching him so many things while we've been here. What have you been learning from me?
How to not consume alcohol, how to make good life decisions, and how to be a good trainer.
If you want to hang out with me to learn these life, maybe not the alcohol thing, then just send me a DM and we can go ahead with that. So when I watch Craig train, one of the things I love about his training is a dog comes out and every single dog comes out, he looks at the individual dog.
Yes.
And you don't know what he's going to do next because it's based on what the dog does. Could you expand on that a little bit for me?
Yes, I think a lot of the time people are stuck into following a recipe with this is what I'm going to do with this dog. And I think it leaves people boxed in to a certain set of skills that they can use that doesn't necessarily suit the individual. And I think it's important to read the dog in front of you, make sure that you've got your ethical principles in place so you're never going to do any harm. You're focusing on reinforcing behaviour and developing the dog through the course of a session based on their needs, rather than going, okay, we're going to get the dog out and this is what we're going to do, or this is how we're going to let the course of a session, particularly when you're working on behaviour mod.
Cool. And so when you say reinforced behaviour, what do you mean?
So I mean, if we're in a position in which the dog comes out and they're like, okay, like they're a little bit sensitive of the environment, what we've got to think about is how are we going to gauge their behaviour and make the experience of the environment more reinforcing for them. And that doesn't mean giving them a sweetie necessarily, or playing with them, or getting them to do something that we think. So like the behaviour that they're engaging in needs to become reinforcing in its own right with the environmental adjustments, so that the environment becomes reinforcing, which then gives us the platform to do more with the behaviour. So like a lot of the dogs that we worked with yesterday, they come out and they were clearly experiencing some stress incurred with the environment, but this is like a fantastic facility. The dogs are in a position whereas that is this is the environment that they've got to work with.
Yep.
So rather than being in a situation where we go, oh God, we've got minor markers of stress here, let's stop right now. Markers of stress aren't escalating. The dog is in a position in which it's getting worse, and what we're looking to do is to give the dog decisions that are going to reinforce desirable behaviour to help improve their experience in the environment. So that could be, there's people watching in the distance and the dog clearly isn't comfortable based on their behaviour markers. They're not comfortable with what's going on in the distance. So we can set up the environment to make sure that they then make a decision to go off to the left-hand side, which is enriched with sniffing items, environmental investigation. And I'm not going, oh click, I'm reinforcing that behaviour, but the action of making the decision is reinforcing in its own right, which then means that the dog is learning to actively disengage from things that they might find stressful, rather than working on this principle of, oh God, we've got them out, we've got to get them into X, Y or Z immediately.
Yeah. I love that because often we think of reinforcement more with our heart than our head. So we think of reinforcement as being kind or nice. And we want to do that, like you said, you have your ethics. Yeah. But reinforcement actually is, by definition, the process by which you strengthen behaviour.
Yes.
And so if you reinforce a house, you make it stronger. Yes. So if you reinforce behaviour, you make that stronger. And so I love what Craig said there, is you focus on which behaviours do we want to build, which behaviours do we want the individual to be able to access. And not access because we say sit or down, but access because the environment cues them to do that.
Exactly.
And so I love that you mentioned that. And the other thing I think for me that's going to be a take home from what we just discussed there was the idea that a marker of stress, or what we're saying is a marker of stress, is behaviour.
Yes.
And if we're looking at a lip lick, it doesn't mean the dog is stressed. It could be part of a learning journey, and it could be involving stress, but it could be good stress. It could be, I'm trying to solve this, yes, a little bit stressful, but as soon as I get reinforcement and I know you help me clear the path of where I want to go, which direction, it becomes less stressful. And in the future, I don't have that stress because you taught me what to do.
Exactly right.
And so rather than just saying, oh, the dog's stressed, let's stop, it's like, how can I educate you to be less stressed in the future?
Exactly right.
And I think that's such a cool thing to take away and apply in dog training today. Thank you so much for
You're more than welcome.
Hanging out and entertaining me. Yeah. And it's been a pleasure supervising you and making sure you don't get into trouble.
Supervising me. Yeah. It's completely the opposite way around. I'm the adult.
See you guys next time.